Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, many times you've told us that most buyers start their search online, and many will meet real estate agents from that search. With all of the changes recently and the buyer's agent's commission no longer offered unilaterally, do buyers need a buyer's agent in this market?
Well, I think a lot of the buyers are asking that same question right now. And here's what happened over the years. And it's been a long, slow change. Like when I first got in the business, I remember people were like, "Oh, well, you have a website." Of course, I didn't know what to do with it at the time. And over the years, websites like Realtor.com grew out, and then Zillow, and then Homes.com, right? These are all big, massive tech companies. They're not real estate agents. They're not helping people buy and sell homes. They know how to make it to page one of Google. They know how to make billions of dollars off the industry on the backs of agents like me that put pictures of houses up there that buyers want to see. And they've just created a better mousetrap, right? I'll admit it. I resisted it at first, but now I've conceded that problem. Okay, so technology kind of overrode the old way of doing things. So back when I first started, they actually had what they call MLS books. It was a giant white phone book that was printed every couple of weeks that mostly didn't have any pictures, maybe one black and white at best case of listings coming up. And that was the way agents would find properties, is they would basically look in the book and they would pick properties for the buyer to show it to them. Well, that all has been overtaken by technology. So everything's online, and now the buyers are deciding what home they want to see. Along the way, they happen to meet up with a real estate agent. And the assumption is the real estate agent is the expert on that house, or the real estate agent is an expert on houses in general. And actually, in most cases, that real estate agent, it's not their listing. They don't know anything about the house. They may not know very much about real estate in general. They might have just gotten their license. And the buyers don't know. They don't ask. They're just like, "Oh, cool. This is somebody that's going to get me in a house I want to see. Okay, can I make an offer?" They just want to get what they want to get, right? And so a lot of times we'll hear on feedback from the buyers. They'll say, "Well, yeah, the last house I bought, I was the one that found it. My agent didn't found it. I begged them to get me into that one," right? So I think there's just been a weakness that happened in the skill set of real estate agents over the years. They kind of let Zillow, show, basically hand them buyer leads, that kind of thing, or they let these tech companies, do this. And so what happened was they didn't bother to have any kind of skills. They didn't bother to try to find the buyers the house. All they were doing was being door openers, essentially. And if the buyer wanted it, then they would, "Okay, fine, I'll write you a contract," sort of thing. However, the problem with that is that there's not enough engagement or value provided to the buyer about what that agent's going to do for them. And I just came from a conference just a few weeks ago, and I was in a small group of some very experienced agents. A lot of these agents have sold a lot of volume, but typically the volume that they sold were bank-owned foreclosures, that kind of thing. So they had pretty good experience in the business. But when the question was asked, "Okay, so tell me how you're going to deliver value with this new system of no commission being offered in the MLS, and that you have to get a buyer to sign an agreement before you show what is your value?" And the only thing they could come up with was, "Well, they sign an agreement, now they got to pay me." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I was trying to help them. I said, "Well, can't you guys have insider access to homes that haven't hit the market yet. Why don't you give them those?" Or I was trying to give them ideas. And it was sort of like, talk to the hand. We're doing what we've always done. It was really surprising to me. So the question is, do buyer's agents need their own agents? Not really. That's the short answer. And sometimes, yeah, they might get better deals going directly to the listing agent. Nothing wrong with buyer's agents. There are some really good ones. There are some that actually sit down with their buyer, find out what they're looking for, and help them find that home. And there was a pretty cool article that was written a few months ago. Actually, it was a couple years ago by this guy. He was a millennial age guy, and his name's Robert Farrington. He said, "What do real estate agents really do anymore?" It was a great question. So he researched, what real estate agents do according to the National Association of Realtors. What they're supposed to do is they provide market information, they get financing, they guide you through the process, they understand values theoretically, they show you homes, and they might facilitate the negotiations. But then when he deep dive into it, he said, we can find all that stuff online. We don't need an agent to do that. And one of the most critical things that they do want you to do for them is to negotiate or give you, as a buyer, good information so you can make a good decision. And, my family bought a rental home last year, and looking back on it, I wish I had a little bit more better information. I wish I had a little bit better inspector. I went off the referral from that agent for the inspector, and we ended up stroking a check for $13,000 a few months later on something that he should have caught. And it just, I think that some agents are lazy. Okay, we've got through the inspection. Okay, I'm definitely going to get paid, and it's all good, right? But the buyers want to know, good, bad, or ugly, what's going on with the house. That way they can make a good decision. So if you hide stuff or you don't give them all the information, they won't forgive you and they won't come back to you for sure. And so I recently have had just talking to people out there that bought their home and got into trouble when they found out about more about the home that they should have known up front after they closed on it. But the public automatically thinks that agents are so good at selling, negotiating, marketing, and closing. But the truth is, they're really not. They probably don't know the market that well. I remember going in to houses with buyers and they're like, well, what do you think it's worth? They'll ask me that. Usually I won't answer the question without doing research, but you can't, we don't know what house they're going to love or not love. So some people will do that work in advance. Some people won't. I usually don't unless I hear the love word, and then I'm all in and I'm doing all kinds of research. But I just feel like there's a whole lot of weakness in the value that they deliver. And we try to deliver really, really good value to our buyers. My team, they know how to deliver really good buyers. They know, they understand market value of homes. They understand even what the buyer needs. They can guide them towards the right financing. There's home down payment assistance programs out there for buyers that they may not know about. Let's say they're buying a new house. We've seen the builders actually tell the buyers not to do a home inspection. And I think that's a bad idea because, you know, every home, even brand new homes, could have some issues. So it's a good thing to do. And then we also give our buyers insider access to hundreds of motivated sellers that are not on the market that want to sell their home. And I think buyers really love that. And this whole change with this antitrust lawsuit created a different question. And I think the buyers should understand that they need to ask their agent some really good questions about what they do to deliver value. Are they just opening a door? Are they just trying to get stuff away from the seller? I've seen some agents be so ardent in that subject. They try so hard to get the price down and beat them up on this and beat them up on that, that ultimately the seller says, no, go away. I'm going to find another buyer. Okay. And that's a mistake because the buyer loves the house, right? So they failed because they didn't get the buyer the house. So this is part of what we do. We help them, we give them the information so they can make a good decision. And if they're adamant of walking away over a little cosmetic thing, okay, that's fine. But sometimes they believe these agents when these agents say, well, it's not worth that much. And what do they know? If a majority of the agents sell 3 to 4 homes a year, how do they know what a home is really worth? The home is worth what the buyer's willing to pay. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call. We can help people buying and selling. We have a whole team here, and we'll be able to deliver absolute value so you won't be disappointed in the end. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker on Your Real Estate Voice, your home sold guaranteed realty. Always reach her at 719-301-3900. Barb, time to talk about your hot new listings.
I love doing that. I've got a really cool fiveplex down in close to Fort Carson that's priced to sell at $449. A fabulous home that is really underpriced, 2,200 square feet for $349 in Claremont Ranch. A beautiful two-story with a finished basement for $435. Also, a really great home out in Peyton at $639. A great home in Black Forest on 5 treed acres at $850. We also have a couple of great lots. There's one on Mountain Estates Roads, a beautiful lot actually with great views and a well, great benefit. And then we have a couple of great homes coming very soon. One in Rock Rimmon on Delmonico Drive in the low 700s, and a beautiful home with spectacular views on Sunbird Hills Cliffs is coming next week. So give us a call if you want to find out about all of our coming soon sneak peek homes, or you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com and see them there. Thank you, Richard. Have a great day.
You too.